make their lives better.
Hey, tune in to the Bridge Podcast TX Tuesdays at 11 a.m., where we are connecting commerce with community, interviewing business owners and leaders in the community, allowing the audience to peek behind the curtain of what inspires, motivates, drives these individuals to have meaningful, positive impact in this community. For more information about the show, log into irlonestar.com/TBPTX.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
That's right. You can sponsor Mornings Lone Star. We're live in the studio right now, back-to-back guest. And like I said, at our 10 o'clock slot, we're going to have Caleb Hoelscher in the studio. He is a musician. He's also, a handyman. He looks like a handyman to me.
I can do stuff.
But he has been around. I know Caleb for quite some time through all his musical ventures, because he's one of those guys who's just good enough at being a musician is when you see him at a venue, you're like, this is a good surprise. Because I don't really go out to listen to music, but when I see you play, I'm like, I can accept this.
Yeah, you've showed up several times, man. I've seen you over the years.
Yeah, I know, but it's more of, it's like, I don't know, like my wife always kind of got on me about, like, to give you a bad story about myself. Because I'm very particular about when I go out, like where's the closest restroom, that kind of thing. I got in big trouble because when we got married, we got each other gifts. And for some reason, she got me tickets to Fleetwood Mac. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And I'm like, well, why Fleetwood Mac? Like Fleetwood Mac's good. I get it. I've seen them live. And I was like, it's at the Toyota Center, though. And she's like, so? And I go, I'm not going to the Toyota Center. And she got so mad at me. It's like, this is my gift for you. You're not appreciating. I was like, well, maybe I say we sell them and we go to like a local thing. Because I can't be in the Toyota Center, especially see Fleetwood Mac. Like, the sound's going to be terrible. And because Toyota Center sucks, man.
Yeah,
I
used to go to hockey games there. I was a big
Arrows.
guy, so
same. I had season tickets. So that hockey's great there.
Yeah.
But acoustics and Toyota Center,
I'm sure,
is terrible. Mm-hmm. Unless you're paying the big bucks and you're sitting up front and maybe you actually get the acoustic sound, but I doubt it. They have so many speaker systems in that place. But yeah, but going to the corner pub or going to Pacific Yard House or going to is it the Cactus?
Yeah, Cactus is out in Willis.
Yeah, that place is tight.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky, but it's tight. They just need more lights. That place is way too dark.
Well, I've talked to the owner several times about that. One of these days.
It's way too dark.
She said I could redo the stage, but then the next time I talked to her, I guess she was more sober than the last time I talked to her, so I hate it when that happens.
And then now we have, is it called Lefties?
Lefties, oh yeah.
So that's over where Tuts used to be. We have the lake. There's so many cool venues out here that it's like, and I even like a Heritage Place. The park right here.
Oh yeah.
That's not bad for what it is. It's like I call it the mini pavilion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I've had the privilege of playing there several times, man. And it sounds excellent. I always love, when someone sends you videos of your performance off their iPhone or something. It's like the sound's always terrible, but actually an iPhone sounds good
at that place.
At that place, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool places around here, man.
Oh yeah.
And right now, I in the link below, I put Caleb's Facebook with his brothers. So it's HoelscherBrothers. That's the Facebook. Yeah. You guys play together. That's kind of, who's the better musician?
Man, which makes the brothers so cool is that we all trade off. So we all play drums, bass, and guitar. So we all front the band.
Well, who's the better drummer?
Probably Isaiah, the young one, and Nathaniel's probably the better singer and guitar player, and I'm probably the best bass player and singer. But I write all the songs, so I got that.
So you're best writer.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Well,
for now, at least for now.
And you were more well known before the brothers got together. It was the Homegrown Tomatoes. One reason I bring that up is people. That's a name they recognize, especially here in Conroe, Montgomery County.
Sir.
And then, but now you're with the brothers, which is cool. And you do. The reason I reached out to you because I saw you were doing a singer-songwriter swap.
Yes, sir.
At Pacific Yard House. That's here in downtown Conroe. It's on. Is it every other Tuesday?
It's every Tuesday.
Every
actually.
Tuesday.
I'm taking one off because in the first week of April, I'll be out of town. But other than that, it's every Tuesday.
Yeah, because
I get some great artists out there, man, from all over. A lot of them from the Montgomery County local scene, but we pull guys from Houston all the time.
That's more
too.
of my jam. I like the songwriter swap.
And it's Storytelling Tuesdays, so a lot of it is I mean, of course, it's mostly music, but I got to hear really cool stories about some of my favorite songs by some of these artists that I would have no idea, but it's just it's a relaxed environment, and
How disappointing is it sometimes? It's like, oh, I love the song you wrote. It's about this
I
girl, and I totally realized, like, oh man, I wrote that in the bathroom at Hobby Airport.
see that happened to me. I switcheroo. There's a song I have, Summer, and a Tomato song. People love that song, and someone was like, man, that's just my favorite one. It's so real to me. I'm like, yeah, I just made that song. There wasn't a girl that broke my heart. There wasn't anything. I was just playing guitar, found a cool riff, and started rhyming words.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
though.
sometimes, yeah.
So, and, I mean, I can't believe you disappointed. You could have just lied. Could have just lied.
Yeah, that's what I could just lie. Yeah,
And then you can write a song about that, about lying to a fan, about being happy, or losing a girl or whatever. I mean, that's actually a pretty funny idea for a song. It's all about the fake girls you lost or whatever.
I wrote a song one time about I need to write a love song, but have no one to write it about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Some songs you just write for fun and you just throw them away because I don't know.
You gotta get the brain going.
Yeah,
you gotta see what
exactly.
happens. Because I mean, I think it's a certain talent to learn how to play guitar, but then it's another talent to learn how to play guitar and write your own music, and then also the next step is, of course, the harmonica while playing the guitar while singing, and after that, it's when you have the cymbals between the knees and you're doing this. The next thing you know, you have a drum on your back and.
Oh, my brother Isaiah, he's working on that right now.
Yeah. What do they call that? What is that?
It's just a one-man band. I mean,
Is that what the yeah?
I wouldn't know what the correct term is. But
like people did that.
Yeah, I can play guitar, do a little harmonica, and sing. I'm good with that.
Yeah, we're good. We're right there. That's max.
There is a cool thing I've almost bought. It's like a pedal, but it's like a wooden block where you just hit it. It's kind of like a kick drum sound.
Yeah.
I've thought about that, but like I can't keep a straight beat with my legs. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I can be a good drummer for like 30 seconds, but after that,
It's like I'm tired.
Yeah.
You got to do just work out just your calves.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's the music scene here is really cool. And I feel like Conroe's faking it till they make it. When they keep saying it's a music city or whatever, I'm like, it is, but pretty much any city could say that. Like,
yeah.
But here, fake it till you make it,
right?
Because it is good.
And the quality and talent of the folks that live around here, man, is just awesome. And like in all different spectrums, not just like country rock music, just and all forms of music. A lot of groovy things. Like, so I'm playing at Pacific Yard House on Tuesdays, and we play from 6:30 to 8:30. So everyone that's always telling me I play too late, well, you no longer have an excuse because 6:30 to 8:30 is it. But usually we go to the corner pub or 202 after and hang out and support the other acts. I really like the fact that the music scene around here, we all support each other.
Yeah, because it's well. Let me ask you this about the Tuesday stuff: is it free?
Yes.
So you're there. You can go to Pacific and just have some crawfish and
drink a beer,
listen to
have a Dr. Pepper, whatever you do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because that's the only thing I do not like about Pacific is they have these random like days where they charge.
Well, I can tell you why they do that.
Well, I get why they do that,
okay.
but I think it's more of I'm trained that it's a restaurant, so I'm hungry. I want their pizza's so good there. I'm gonna go get a pizza, and then you walk in, they're like, oh yeah, it's $10 to get in. I'm like, so I gotta pay $10 to eat a pizza and then pay for the pizza, like.
Well, artists, so they have their music budget, and artists who want more money than that budget, they're like, we can't do that, but we can give you door if you think. And some bands can pull it off.
Oh, no, I get it.
Some bands can't.
Well, I think, it's just the training in me because I walk over there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, oh, shoot, I can't have my burger because I got to watch this band. I don't know. Like, that sucks. And now they built that patio outside, which I think that's what they're doing with that patio is you can go out there and not pay the $10.
Yeah, it's covered. Have you been in there recently? It's covered.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's like different. I mean, they took away the smoker section. Sorry, smokers. But it's really nice in
we
there.
We will eradicate the smokers.
Yeah, right.
That's
From
what
downtown Conroe.
Society's telling me we're eradicating you. Better watch out. But no, that's why they were telling me they're building that so I could still go have my pizza there and not have to pay because you have to pay. There's no way if, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
And I always felt that I've always felt awkward for establishments forcing that on the customer, especially the customers who are enjoying themselves already there and like, oh hey, by the way, it's 6:00.
I like Corner Pub. If you're a regular, you don't pay the cover. Like, okay, how about this? So when we would charge, cover charge at the Corner Pub, and we got to sell it out a couple of times, which is awesome. But there was Leanne would be like, if someone comes in here every Saturday night and they don't know you, I'm not charging them. But I'm like, but she can do that because she knows who's in her bar all the time.
Yeah.
Places like Pacific might be a little bit more difficult because it's a bigger venue and whatnot.
Well,
But I
people are
always
just trying to
liked that.
work. I get the people are trying to earn money.
Yeah.
I think what it is just the philosophy behind it. It just interrupts because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, by the way, if you want to eat this pizza and you're not gone by 6, you're going to pay an extra $15. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? But I get it. The acts there are good. I like Pacific Yard House a lot, and all the restaurants down there are pretty dang good.
Yeah, Red Brick has some great pizza too and some great music every once. That's another good sounding room. They have it dialed in pretty good.
Yeah. That's that stage is right on you too.
I'm sorry?
That stage is right on you.
Oh yeah. That's like I like we got to open up for Jason Bolin at the Texan Theater in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and I can tell like the entire first row and all these country boys and country gals, and they didn't look uncomfortable. They just looked weird. And sure enough, we played that, and we played a bar across the street for the after party, and pretty much everyone showed up, which was awesome. And I was talking to the people in the front row. They're like, man, we were excited when we got front row tickets. We just didn't know it. We were literally 6 feet away from everybody. I'm like, yeah, that's a up close and personal.
Yeah.
A little too personal sometimes.
Yeah, Red Brick has that too, and you're on them. I mean, depending on the artist, it's really fun.
Exactly.
'Cause
Exactly.
I think one time I walked in there, and for some reason, the artist was, I want to say, like, his feet were on the lip of the stage, so his foot could have been under a patron's table, and he was rocking. Like, he was just like doing this, and they got these people right there.
Yeah, I think
Love it.
Yeah, there's a time and place for everything. Like I really like rocking out and getting loud.
Yeah.
But sometimes
This guy had one volume, and
He's
it
like,
was
yeah.
his 11.
if people are eating food, you should probably like do more finger picking and less going.
Well, that's why I
crazy.
like the idea of you at Pacific Yard House doing the songwriter swap on Tuesdays, because that to me is like, that's a casual night. I'd be like, Holly, let's go hang out. Let's go sit and listen to Caleb and this random dude tell stories, this other random dude, and like,
ladies too. I got 2 ladies booked. I got Mandy Powell tomorrow, and I got Alexis. I'm gonna mess up her last name. McLaughlin, something like that.
something like that. It's on the just
Yeah.
look it up or whatever. Yeah.
But I try to book when I booked this. I try to do like a couple dudes, couple gals, couple dudes, couple gal.
Yeah.
Try to share the love, because for the longest time when I was doing Marshalls, I think a lady, a big fan of mine, was like, no, why don't you get girls to come up here and play with you? So I started trying, but not a lot of girls wanted to play with me from 9 to 1 at Marshall's Tavern.
Yeah,
so
that's long.
It's a long time, especially if they're
Especially
living
at
in
Marshalls.
Yeah, Marshalls could be a little rough.
You
at
could
times.
smoke in there.
You can definitely smoke in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep legal, guys. But
Now, Marshall's is an interesting place. If people don't know, check it out online. It's like, it used to be where a bingo hall was, or I guess it was. I don't even know what it was before that.
I think it was.
I know it's bingo. I know
it was Wiesner's, and then it was Sonny's. Then it was Game On. Now it's Marshall's, if I
Yeah.
believe it right. Yeah.
And they have live. They have a stage, a pretty big stage, I would say.
It's probably the biggest stage. I think it's big. I think it's bigger than Pacific's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can fit a 5-piece on there.
Easy.
Yeah, and then because we've been there a couple times to see different people, and then midget wrestling, of course.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
the thing. I went once, man. I'm happy people enjoy that, but that just wasn't
It's
my
weird.
thing. Yeah.
It's weird. Especially my wife's 4'10", and so I was like, technically, we can make some money here,
right?
Holly. We can make some money. Think about it. What would be your stage name? What's your wrestling name? But yeah, Marshall's a cool place. I think that's really kind of it's funny the conflicting societal status of smoking and not smoking, because if you go down 105 to all the venues, it's like it's either all smoking or like no smoking. And I wonder how that's going to end up, because Conroe's an old town, and I get why people have smoking. And I even, like, my wife, she's a nurse, she hates it. And I'm like, well, I like it that the place can do whatever they want. I think that's good. I think it's good if a restaurant wants to do that. Now, I know if I open a restaurant or a bar today, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Which is crap. But, it's their choice.
But I think that everyone that plays,
or the government's choice.
everyone
so
that goes to Marshall's, that's like the smoking crowd. So like
well, that's what I'm saying. Those crowds exist.
Exactly.
So it's like, I think it sucks that you can't give people an option. That
I have a following at Marshall's that will be there every time I play at Marshall's.
Yeah.
I have a following at Corner Pub. These places are less than 5 minutes away from each other, and
different crowd.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, some folks will go back and forth, okay, but like majority of people that watch me at Marshall's aren't coming to the Corner Pub. Majority of people that see me at Corner Pub aren't coming to Marshall's.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I do both. I'm just like wherever the party is, and then let me ask you this: at Corner Pub. Have you been in there? Have you played there since Son was allowed to bring their food in there from Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It doesn't bother me a bit, man. I don't. I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, because I was thinking that we went there this weekend,
and it's delicious.
Yeah,
if
you
haven't
walk
had
in.
It, you have to have.
Yeah,
some,
you walk in. Everyone's eating, and they're getting a band ready. I'm like, that's gotta be kind of cool. Like you're sitting and people show up. They might not be seeing you, but they're eating their food and like.
Yeah. I feel bad, man. They get so much hate online sometimes.
Well, Son is a polarizing character.
Yeah, he is. I love him, but
Yeah.
he I love the way he deals with it too.
Oh yeah, I had him on Friday, last Friday,
really?
and I talked about his social media presence and how
Fantastic.
he could run a clinic for people, and it's like, this is how you talk trash.
Yeah, right.
But then again, it's like that's what I love about the uniqueness of downtown Conroe. Is they allow businesses like Asan, and then you have the Corner Pub going like, oh, hey, yeah, they can eat in here, because Dragon Ball C does not have a seating area, and so I was like, oh, finally they did this, because I remember when they first opened, I'm like, they're not going to let you in there, like, no, I'm like, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, and I think it's, I mean, after you had a couple beers at the pub, man, start feeling a little tipsy. Go get you some fun. You're good to go, or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And so, what's the one? Like, do you go on tour ever outside of?
It's been
because this is the Music City.
Yeah.
So I know you don't want to leave the Music City.
Well, you got to at some point.
We have a badge.
We do have a badge.
We have a piece of paper that says we're a Music City.
Yeah. And they don't let me play in their festivals, but I don't know why. But that's
Are you not in the Conroe Crossroads?
I've not been asked, but I'm not bitter about it.
It's probably because one dude is like in charge, or lady's in charge of the bands, and she's like, I'm gonna do whoever I want, and then
probably. I mean, I played the Catfish Festival last year with my brother, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Well, the lineup
here.
for the Crossroads is interesting.
I'm not saying anything.
I mean, I'm not trying to start trash talking or anything like that. It's just interesting because, it's. This is I make a lot of jokes about it. This is a Music City, but it really is.
Yes,
There's a lot of local people here that play here regularly, like your Tuesday nights, and then every other Thursday, right? Is it Thursday from 9?
Yeah, Thursday,
yeah. And so at Marshall, so it's like you can kind of get out of your groove, people, and go see some live music.
Yeah, and I used to play Red Brick, first Wednesday of the month for several months. A couple years ago, I played every Monday at Corner Pub for a couple years. I played every Wednesday at Corner Pub for a couple. I can usually tell. I played Borski's and Willis for a couple years on Wednesday. I can feel when the drop off is happening. Like, how do I put this? Once people quit showing up because I'll just see them next time. That's when it's like, all right, we got to find something different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I've never had an issue with any of the venues themselves. It's always like.
Well, also you create an environment like your show for Pacific. it's going to be different every time.
Yes.
Even if it's the same format, it's like, oh, we're having a new artist join me, and we're going to song swap. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, once you hear a story, I'm going to hear Caleb's story about this girl broke his heart 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Let's talk to the other person.
Yeah.
We don't care about this anymore, Caleb.
And I think I was mentioned before we started that I've done song swaps everywhere for a long time, but what makes Pacific so cool is that it's just original music. I mean, a cover might maybe played if someone,
We're going to make a story
wants
with
one.
it.
But yeah, but it's kind
my
of like...
dad died when I heard this song. Let's play it.
Let's play it. Great. People love that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's...
But like other places, they're longer shows and they're like a rowdier crowd.
Yeah.
Or if they want to hear Whiskey Myers or Hank Williams or something like that, Freebird, right? Freebird. Oh, we played in Wagon Wheel in Cleveland, I guess, after the bowling thing. And we opening chords, started playing. Someone just yelled out Freebird, and like 3 rednecks were Freebird. They're all been drinking all day there. And we just started our set with Freebird. We just started the whole night with Freebird. And they're like, oh, wow. I'm like, yep, can't yell it out the rest of the night. All right.
Actually, one time I went to when we went to a bar and their band, and they did the Freebird, and the guy goes, we'll play Freebird if we get $200 on this.
Yeah, we've done that. The Tomatoes would do that.
Yeah. And then they get $200 and then play Freebird. I was like, that's probably the easiest $200.
Well, we just say, like, if you're going to take 10 minutes out of everyone's time, you have to buy it.
Oh, you don't play their bridge version?
Yeah, no. Oh,
it's just the solo at the end.
The HoelscherBrothers do. The Tomatoes, no, we played we go all out. But
yeah.
The Tomatoes.
Well, it's a fun song. That's why people like it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a terrible. It's not like play Nickelback or whatever.
Yeah.
So Nickelback's not bad, but it's what I'm talking about. It's not like ironic thing. Let's play this terrible, chalkboard screeching song. So I don't see what the big deal is. It's just a long song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and some people are like, I'll never play it. It's like, man, you asked me to play Freebird, I'll play Freebird. You asked me to play Wagon Wheel, I'll play Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
Like, there's a time in my life where I love these songs too, so I get it. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't listen to them a lot anymore, but those songs still have a piece of my heart. You know what I mean? Like, if I can make someone else happy. But yeah, you're gonna have to cough up the money if you're gonna make me do 10 minutes. Of
I like
something.
that. That's smart because it's like it's a hard song to play.
Well, we usually say when someone is like, if you ever request, simply write it on the back of a $100 bill and come throw it up here in the tip jar, and we'll try our best at it. And sometimes it works. Then we say we'll take 50s and 20s and 5s and 1s. We don't care, after we do the song.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of excited. So tomorrow, who's the person tomorrow?
And Mandy Powell, she's excellent.
It starts with an M?
Yes, sir.
Mandy Powell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is she from around here? Where's she from?
I think
we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like that.
She'll tell you. No, I've had the pleasure playing with her several times over the past few years, and once I'm kind of proud of myself. I started booking this like months in advance now, so it's kind of cool. Like once I had like Jeff Canada, I had Bubba Wesley last week. Like some of the bigger names in the scene were reaching out to me to play up here to do this Tuesday with me. That's when I was like, oh wow, because that's when other people like I don't seek anybody out for this gig. People want to play it with me, which is super cool because for the longest time I would be.
You're the one
had
on the street corner with the poster like, hey, I want to play.
And now it's people are, and it's kind of crazy. It's not crazy, but I think it's kind of funny that some of the people that work up there at Pacific are like, oh man, this person's really good. I'm like, yeah, you should go check out their Facebook. They got like 20,000 likes and 500,000 spins on something. Just like
it's hard to judge people that way because there's so much music out there and there's so many avenues to obtain it. Mm-hmm. Because it'd be one thing. Yeah. It'd be one thing if it was 70 years ago where you had the one radio station that only played that one genre, and then you're stuck with that. That's how you hear your rock and roll. Mm-hmm. But now it's like you go to Spotify. I have no idea who any of these people are, and it's like recommendation artist of the year. I'm like, I'll give it a try. I don't know who it is, but let's go. Let's check it out. But yeah, I can understand why people don't know everything. And people here at the radio, they think I know every country singer. I'm like, no. And it's kind of hard, but especially people find it. Well, that's one thing I love about like your music. It's once people find it, they stick with it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, and my music, I kind of touch on everything. I'm not a one genre kind of guy,
Yeah.
one track. I got songs that sound like 90s country. I got songs that sound like Leonard Skinner. I got songs that sound like folky Guy Clark stuff. You know what I mean? It's just I don't.
Well, there's a dynamic I feel like in today's in the music industry where it's swapped between live from primarily album stuff. Now it's live stuff where people get into music. Because, back in the day, that's people just bought records, and that's like how you heard your song. And then that person luckily came into town, you go see them. But now you're meeting an artist by their live performance, and then you buy their CD.
Yeah.
And I always judge bands off their live performances. Because I've been there, when, especially like when I remember going to see Bob Dylan, I'm like, this guy freaking sucks. It sucks. And it's Bob Dylan.
It's Bob Dylan.
And I'm like, Bob Dylan doesn't suck. I've listened to all his records.
Well, there's some guys that I really like, but I can't stand to watch them live. Like not personally, not in the scene, just like bigger acts and whatnot. They're great. I love their music, but I can't watch a YouTube video of them perform because I just feel like dead inside because I hold them so high.
Yeah.
With their
Well, that's what I'm saying.
musicianship and songwriting.
Certain artists,
and then
it's just like, no. And then, but that's what I like about learning something new for local people or that kind of, you're like, oh, I've already seen them live. They're clearly talented. So.
And I think I can't give out the dates yet because I'll come back. But no, we have a couple of tomato shows, reunion shows here.
That's fun.
In a couple of months, I'll come back to announce those here.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be two different shows because we kind of had two different sides of the band, just rotating members, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So I'm kind of have the two different versions of the tomatoes.
You're
over
a
here.
popular guy, Caleb.
Yeah, something like that.
Right?
Yeah,
You should clone yourself. You should clone yourself.
If there was a way for sure.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure my wife would hate that. Actually,
she would get confused.
Yeah.
But,
she thinks one of me is too much of me. Actually,
yeah, I believe that. I mean, especially because I can imagine being involved with a musician, especially a songwriter. I'm like, oh, what are you writing down?
Oh man,
it's not about me, is it?
You'll love the Tuesday show, man, because I'll tell one story that I tell because people have been asking for this song, so I play it. But it's pretty much we got in a fight. Not in a fight. How to put this? My off nights that I'm not playing music, I'm home.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I spend enough time outside, at bars or venues and whatnot, playing music, 3-4 times a week, that I need to be home those nights I'm not playing. But one of my buddies, he forgot his mic stand, and he's playing, down the street. I see down the street like 20 minutes away. I'm like, oh, I got like 10 mic stands. I'm gonna go bring him one. And he offered me a beer, drink a beer. One beer turned to two turned into too many. And I get a text from the wife, how would you just stay at the bar? I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Go home, and she's already asleep by the time I got home. And I was thinking we're going to have this big argument, And so I just kind of took all of that emotion and put it down and wrote a song. And people have been liking that song lately, so I've been playing a lot. But there's definitely a lot of, that's the storytelling Tuesdays,
And then you get in real trouble when you start telling stories about previous ex-girlfriends.
That's
songs about.
Oh, yeah.
And you constantly remind your wife, oh, yeah, I wrote songs about these girls and not you.
I say one of my, I've said this for a while, but one of Chelsea's favorite songs was a song that I wrote about one of her best friends in high school.
That's what I love about.
She's a good sport, though.
Well, that's what I love about musicians, because musicians go to this depth that it's not like an everyday relationship with people. It's like you're getting a picture inside of a person's history
completely,
and it's written down. So it's because some people, some have shared experiences, but then you might not know anything about this person's past because they're from another country, and you're like, I don't know if you how many girlfriends or boyfriends you had, but because I know if my wife. She would not have any. You're like, she'd probably tell me, you're straight up, you're never singing those songs ever again.
Oh, and there's certain songs that I was afraid, I wrote because I write for myself, just as therapy, And there's one time Chelsea's like, man, you haven't written songs lately. Like, what's up with you? I'm like, I have. I don't know if you'll be able to enjoy this song that I wrote because it is very personal.
Yeah.
And I'll play it to her. She goes, I love it. I was like, yeah, but I just don't know if I want to play it out because I kind of touch on a few subjects, very personal subjects. And she goes, you got to. And I have a song called "Life Moves On." I wrote a few months ago, and I kind of again wrote it for myself. And my brother was like, "Why don't you play this out?" I'm like, I don't think people want to hear this. This is too personal.
I'll just go for it.
And then, sure enough, man, people love it. And it's like, I guess I should be more personal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, people like that,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if it's like a shared experience that people can somewhat relate to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're gonna bust out the song about how much you hate your mom, and people are like, "Whoa, I don't hate my mom, dude. That's not cool."
Oh, I forgot. I think it was Bill Burr. He was in a movie, and there's this one thing where he talks smack about his mom, and at the New York showing, everybody was laughing, and at the Boston showing, no one was like, "You can't say that about your own mother." Like two different cultures were just like, one laughed at it, yeah, the other one's like, "Oh no, you can't do that."
Well, that's what I always like, kind of connecting that with people's judgment on, like, I would say Texas country or Southern music. It's like they always talk about the same thing, like trains, beer, back roads, and their mother or whatever. But then I always wonder, like, what is the music you listen to about?
Yeah,
like
I listen to. I've been in a sea shanty little thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What's that called? Like choral music, chorus music? What's it called?
I don't know.
Bar music. What's it called? There's something. I know it's a genre.
Yeah, I just call it sea shanties, man. I don't know.
Those are fun.
I was trying to.
Those are fun.
I'm probably going to end up, I hope I can get the gig this year, is be a Renaissance band, be a little Irish
That'd be kind of fun.
folk band at the Renaissance.
You can kind of do anything at the Renaissance Festival, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with the Irish people.
I worked it for several
But you can just do that.
Yeah, I worked the. If I could. I wonder, because I just love. I don't know. I played them. Just like pirate songs and songs like where like you're in love with being on the water, but you hate being on the water.
Yeah.
I just find that so.
Well, it's like an adventure.
Yeah.
There's always a cool adventure about, that one night that the storm came in and how it changed your life because you saw the mermaid or whatever.
I'm kind of working on a song right now that's kind of like, when you could see the storm coming and it's hours away, but you know that it's coming and you can't outrun it, can't do nothing. So you're just watching the storm come in. Slowly but surely, like everything's about to change here, and you're just watching it, waiting. Like I'm kind of working on a song about that right now.
Isn't there a song by Gordon Lightfoot?
Wreck of the Edmonds,
Yeah,
Fitzgerald.
isn't that kind of what that's
Yeah,
about?
a little bit, yeah. I haven't heard that song in a while.
Yeah, but I think that's about like a storm, and then they die.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah,
It's all right.
it's a great song.
It's a great song, especially when you're singing it on a boat.
On a boat, yeah.
The Renaissance thing is really fun. I think you could do if you did that. People would love that.
Yeah, my mom's worked out there for like 12 years now. So
Doing what?
Yeah. She's the empanada lady, so she sells the empanadas in the Spanish
Area.
La Fiesta.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, like that place. The scariest thing about the Renaissance Festival here is you don't know who works there or not.
Yeah.
So that's something that always frightens me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Is
you work here or like,
are you just out here?
yeah, like what's going on? I mean, why are you asking for tips? Why am I tipping you? You work here? Yeah.
Well, I used to sell drinks and bartend a little out there, and I had my little mountain dulcimer I'd play. And when we wouldn't have people, I would just go out there and start playing songs, and people would just be tipping me for playing music. I'm like, this works too. Maybe I should just play music out here. So that's what I'm trying to get back into.
Well, the sea shanty idea, that's because they kind of do that with that. What is that called? They have like a 5-course meal thing there. That's like a show.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I forgot what they
know
call
the
it.
name.
King's Table or King's Feast or something.
Something like that, yeah.
But it's a show, and they kind of do little sea shanty.
Well, the thing is, like, there's stages out there in the same band. Like, nothing against those bands. Love them all.
You can hate them.
But it's the same show. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, the same thing. It's like,
Everything's the same.
and I know, like, the hundreds of thousands of people that go out there, they don't care. They're just happy to see a show. But it's like, I want to bring something new to the table that, even not that sea shanties are new, but.
Well, see, that to me is more of the people think of it as a theater thing now.
Yeah.
It's like a show. Like you're getting entertained by that. You were originally where it came from is just a bunch of drunk dudes hanging out and just to pass the time.
Yeah,
It's
it's you in the water,
Yeah, just to pass the time. But then again, they're expected to die every day. So
I also listen to other music other than that, but that's kind of been my.
I think it's fun. I think that would be very fun.
And it's like because I like to listen to crazy music, just out of this world, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes I like to bring music back to the basics. Maybe if it's just a cappella or one guy and one guitar, one lady and one guitar, stuff like that. But I don't know if Jason Isbell released a new song a couple weeks ago, and that's been on repeat.
He's been pretty good.
Love him. Love Sturgill Simpson.
When was the last time he released something though? Not just a song, but like an album.
He's released a couple albums.
Because he really got popular like 10, 15 years ago.
No, he's had releases, but none of them hit quite as hard as the Nashville sound or Southeastern or stuff like that. Hit really big. But his new song, like I love Jason Isbell, but he hasn't released like something that I absolutely love in a long time. But he released a new song called Death Wish, and it's my new favorite song. So I've literally listened to that song 100 times in the past week. So that's a good one. And then I listen to everything Sturgill Simpson all the time. That's my go-to probably if I'm not in the sea shanty mood or a podcast mood nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like Sturgill Simpson hangs out and then he's like, "Oh, I got an idea for a record." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, I was just listening to this old rock and roll album. I'm gonna do this." And then like a year later, he'll be like, I really like this sound. I'm gonna do a record based off this. It has nothing to do with the previous record.
First time I listened to like his Sound and Fury album, the one he did for the anime, I was like, what is this? Why would you do this, Sturgill? Oh, I can't stand it. Now I freaking love it. That's workout music especially, or just driving music. Like it gets you pumped, man. Like the first time I listened to it, I was talking to my brother about this. Sometimes the songs that you first listen to and you don't like them end up becoming the songs that you love. And I never, he's 18. Like, I never realized that that's kind of true, because there's certain songs I listen to, I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I don't get this. And you listen to it a week later, okay, it's growing
or
on
like
me.
10 years later.
Yeah, exactly,
So, especially like Jason Isbell, like a lot of his stuff, he's probably like one of the better writers. Mm-hmm. But then at the music side of it, you're like, eh. But then when you start to get depressed, and you're like, oh, it's hitting the right spot. Thank you for depressing me more.
Yeah, well, I think somebody asked Townes Van Zandt, why don't you sing happy songs? You only sing sad songs. And Townes Van Zandt goes, these are my happy songs.
Wow.
Hate to listen to the sad ones.
That guy's a weird dude.
Yeah,
or he was.
But yeah.
So, well, I think musicians are weird. I really think
to be good, you have to be different.
Well, it's not good. It's more of like that's what the lifestyle demands, because you're not in full control. It's not a 9 to 5 thing where you can clock in, clock out. It's like you never know when you're going to get inspired. It can be even when you're dreaming and you wake up and you have a residual of your dream.
That's definitely.
You're like, I got to write this down, and it's like it's a constant thing where you're performing. Like you have your performance times, but then outside of that, like that's when you're really like working. Because when you start performing, to me, it's almost like if you're a musician, you get it down where like you could do it blindfolded because you have your 2-hour show, like you know exactly what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But then when you're not doing that, that's where it comes the challenge, where it's like, okay, like I can't, unless you're George Strait, where like you didn't really do anything. So like someone just wrote you a song and you just look good while you play it. So same thing with Garth Brooks. Come on, guys. But like I'm just.
No, I'm not.
Well, no, it's funny because like I remember where I discovered that about George Strait. Like he didn't write these songs.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
I don't even like him now.
Hey, but Dean Dillon did, and Dean Dillon's
he's a boss.
Great.
We actually have played some Dean Dillon on here.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
But yeah, no, it's funny and that's where I see the respect in the musician is when they work out a song and they're working out their art and they're kind of like always evolving it and figuring it out.
I think one of the first songs I wrote that was good enough to where like my family, my dad and mom, like bring your guitar so you can show the family, or we're going to some church event, bring your guitar to show people. There's a song called Letter, and the Tomatoes recorded it. But I remember playing it this one lady, and she goes, I just think it's awesome how you can like you took this whole story and you made it all make sense, and then you played it and you sing it, and you know. And to me, I was like, it just came natural. It wasn't. I didn't think it was that hard. It was just something that I wanted to do, and so I did it.
Yeah.
But years later, 13, 14 years later, looking back at it, I'm like, that wasn't something that a 14-year-old kid just to do it. Sounds a little crazy, you know.
Well, let me ask you this about, because you've been in the industry for a little bit. You think today's standard is the singer-songwriter is their origin point? Because like back in the day, I feel like there was, this person can sing because they've been trained to sing. And then it's like, I know somebody who can write music. Y'all get together and you sing his music or her music. That was like back in the day. Mm-hmm. But then like today, I feel like where everyone starts out is, you have to be a singer-songwriter at one point in your career to get on stage.
Well, even like a lot of and I'm not a big fan of the Nashville sound, so to speak, but even a lot of the guys who
I don't even know what the Nashville sound is when people tell me that. I don't even know what that means.
Whatever pop country, I guess you could say.
It's like Blake Shelton, for example. Mm-hmm. I've heard songs from him where it doesn't sound poppy, but I've heard songs that sound like Florida Georgia Line poppy. Yeah. And I'm like, is that Nashville?
Were they released at the same time, or was one released 15 years ago?
I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying, because like Florida Georgia Line, is that Florida music, or is that?
I think that's I think 90% of what you hear on mainstream country radio
pop
came out of Nashville.
Okay.
You could almost bet any big song has come out of Nashville.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
But like Elvis came from
Memphis.
And his music's so different though. Okay.
Well, but
I'm just trying to understand it, because that's what.
But a lot of those bigger names now were were signed to publishing deals 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be a songwriter to be a singer now. Like I
to
tell
get
everyone,
your start, like the origin,
yeah.
And then
unless your voice is just out of this world,
and then you just go on The Voice.
But even like
or go on
Chris Stapleton, he became known as a songwriter. I mean, his voice is outstanding, but he wrote "Drink a Beer" for Luke Bryan. He has dozens and dozens of big songs that he wrote for other artists before he came out as Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, because I felt there was
he was in the Steel Drivers and a couple other bands too.
Well, that was also like I feel like that was the early 2000s, where a lot of the Texas artists who had success is due because they sold their songs to a Nashville artist.
Yeah,
almost. Because because there's a whole underbelly to it that no one ever would really know.
I mean, like Charlie Robinson sold
all of his songs. I feel like all of his songs.
All the songs. Yeah, I mean,
because I love seeing him and his wife play. I don't know if you ever got to see them. It's Kelly Willis, I think it is. Kelly something.
Bruce Robinson and
who'd you say?
Charlie.
Well, they're both selling all their music.
Yeah,
but yeah, Bruce and his wife. That's a great.
It's a great show.
That's a great.
Well, they had their.
I forgot.
Well, I had to be angry all the time that Tim McGraw and
yeah.
Like that's just an awesome song.
Yeah, well, I like Bruce's better.
Oh, for sure. I think it's more honest. I feel like you can hear the.
Tim McGraw, you never had a problem in your life. You're married to Faith Hill. Get out of here.
Oh, my wife loves Tim McGraw, and I guess I loved him at one point in my life. But when he released a song called "Truck Yeah," I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm out."
Well, you never know. 10 years,
I know, right?
You might really identify.
Exactly.
You're like,
if he asked for any of my songs, hell yeah, I give it.
Yeah, Truck Yeah,
give it to him.
Truck Yeah, dude. Well, Caleb, we gotta be winding down because we have the weekly business hour. We're going back into the talk radio here on Lone Star Community Radio. So for every Tuesday, we can find you at Pacific Yard House here in downtown Conroe for singer-songwriter swap. Mm-hmm. So different co-host or co-guest or whatever you want to call it every Tuesday at 6:30 to 8:30. Mm-hmm.
And we usually head to 202 or Red Brick or Corner Pub after. Like you'll catch us hang out downtown after. So
and then we have you every other Thursday. Actually, just check the calendar at Marshall's Tavern. And that's with you and your brothers, or is it just you?
That's just me, but my brothers will guest on it a lot too.
Yeah. And then I put links to the brothers' website or the Facebook so they can follow and make sure if you're playing around and all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of music around here. And
and right now, crawfish season, we're at Cat Daddy's a whole lot over there, going towards 1488 on Sundays, and that's with my brothers. So that's a fun crawfish show right there.
Cat Daddy's. 1488 is like a black void to me.
Oh, really? Oh, it's right when you ask. You remember the old Do-Si-Do Cafe?
Yeah.
It's in that shop. It's in the.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so it ain't too.
Yeah, I can't believe they closed that one down. but I can.
They needed money. I mean, it's
COVID happened.
Yeah.
Was it COVID or was it before that?
I think they shut it down a little before COVID.
Yeah, because it's nice.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like
I think they opened up a couple other little ones, but that was prime.
Yeah,
I saw some great acts there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you go there and you're like, ooh, this is kind of cool. And
they
don't charge $140 a plate.
Yeah, that was that was one of the first homegrown tomato shows. Actually, was at that Do-Si-Do. I wore a mustache suit. You can find those pictures online. It was great.
What's a mustache suit?
It was a suit full of mustaches.
Where do you find this stuff?
I'll tell you after.
Okay, so you didn't make it.
No,
you found it.
No, my mom did.
Oh, yeah, your mom sounds interesting.
She's great.
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, man, for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you at the Pacific Yard House tomorrow. And then, of course, they can follow you on the social media links all there, guys. And we're going to get back to closing out the show. I will be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If you have a song request or want to be a guest, reach out, morningswithlonestar@gmail.com, or message on our social media. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, sir.